it does relate to what's going on. It has a lot to do with what we're seeing right now. And why are we in the green? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you have our Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen basically saying, don't worry, guys. The Fed, the FDIC, me, and the government, we will bail out everyone, okay? Right? That's what people care about. Bailouts, and more of them that are coming. So I don't know if this is the exact reason why, but I do think this has a lot to do with it because today, well, actually, I meant to show this. Today, all the banks that were struggling yesterday are now popping up. First Republic, New York Bancorp, regional banks like PacWest, Fifth Third, Key Corp, all these banks that were being sold off yesterday and last week, somehow they're all popping today. Probably due to this, right? But here's the thing. Just a week ago, Janet Yellen was saying, oh, no, we're not going to bail out anyone, especially Silicon Valley Bank. No. We're not in the business of bailing anyone out. And yet today, a week later, yeah, don't worry. The government will bail out everyone. So which one is it going to be? I think we know already. I think we know. They will bail out everyone because all these banks are seen as too big to fail. And if they fail, the contagion is going to spread and the rest, right? It's not a good situation. So that is what's happening today. This rally that we're seeing right now could be short-lived. Right now, there's a lot of enthusiasm and people are thinking, okay, all is well, but it's not really all is well, okay? But going to Bitcoin, right now, it seems like Bitcoin and gold are both skyrocketing. Well, I take that back. There's only one that's coming out. The other is kind of slowly moving. But both are seen as hedges against inflation, store values. That's why both are doing pretty well. But here's the thing. Gold had its greatest climb back in the day, back in the 70s. Oops, that's not what I want. This one right here. Gold had a huge run back in the 70s. That was the heyday or decade for gold. And at one point, if you look at number 4 to number 5, that rally went up 750%. 750%, right? But if you look at the two, they're looking very similar. This is a fractal pattern that's very, very similar. And the reason why this is relevant, obviously, 50 plus years later, is because Bitcoin is coming to its own. It's starting to mature. It's starting to be seen as something legitimate that people can park their money into. Didn't happen before in 2017. Didn't happen before in 2014, the previous cycle tops. But it's starting to happen now. And that's kind of like how gold was back in the day. I mean, gold has been around for thousands of years, obviously. But it went through these phases, these decades, where it really picked up steam because people started recognizing that gold could be a great store of value and a hedge against inflation, especially when things come down. Until it got to a point where I guess it was maybe too manipulated or too much paper stuff came out, right? And that's why we're stuck at like 2,000 gold forever. But my point is this. If Bitcoin follows the same pattern, right, we could see a 750% climb in the near future. And when I say near future, that could be the end of 2025 after the next halving event, right? Could that happen? Of course. Even people are predicting 1 million Bitcoin in 90 days. I don't agree with that, but who knows? Here's a good chart comparing Bitcoin to gold to NASDAQ for this year. NASDAQ is currently down 15% for the year. Gold is up about 5%, which is not bad. Obviously, 20% better than the NASDAQ, so that's good, right? But Bitcoin is up a staggering 56%. So this is why gold is known as pharmaceutical gold. I mean, this is why Bitcoin is known as pharmaceutical gold, because it's better and it certainly moves faster, and it's starting to mature. It's still small. The market cap is way smaller than gold, right? That's why you want to get into something early, right? That's where most of the gains come from. So that's definitely Bitcoin at this point. And there's so many people that are starting to really recognize it. Even Mike McGlone from Bloomberg is saying that there's a fundamental paradigm shift as people are recognizing that the banks can't be trusted and they're falling, right? Again, a lot of people recognized this in 2008, but Bitcoin wasn't around. There was an alternative. You either parked in gold or nothing, right? Basically one or the other. But now you have Bitcoin as an option. So, fantastic stuff. Really good stuff. And this guy right here basically pinpointed, based on previous cycles, how high Bitcoin can go this time around from its current level, right? Go to 60,000, that's being very conservative. 110,000, 170,000, maybe a little bit more, 200,000, right? Regardless, you don't want to miss this recovery, this pump, this next all-time high, right? Don't want to miss that. You certainly don't. And here's the interesting thing. I have my camera off. Yeah, I just realized that. Here's the interesting thing. You know, I've been stressing about DCA. I'm glad that someone put the two together. Here's the thing. If you've been buying, DCAing into Bitcoin every single day, even if you started at 69,000, let's say your very first buy was at 69,000 and you've been DCAing every single day since then, you are actually positive right now. You actually have gone back to zero and flipped to the upside. That's the power of DCA. Even though we are only at 28,000, even if you started at 69,000, you would be up right now. That is the power of DCA. And I've been telling you guys that DCA is a proven strategy that really outperforms everything over the long term. Short term, yes, you could trade. Yes, you could outperform it. But long term, DCA is the way. So this is quite amazing if you think about it. We are less than half from our previous peak, yet you would be in the green right now. Now imagine you keep DCAing and it goes back up to 69,000. How much higher, right? Or how much more percentage up you would be. I mean, it would be astronomically higher. All very, very positive. Very positive.